Hello and happy Tuesday, and welcome to the
Yeehaw.
Mr. Guys podcast. How you doing, Mr. Barnett? Again,
I am doing good, sir.
Always.
Thank you. I had a guy comment to me last week. He said, "Bill, are you in a rocking chair?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "When you're on the podcast, you rock a lot." I'm like,
You do.
"Yep." I lean in, I lean back, I adjust my seat.
I thought it was your ADA.
Sure do.
So. But at least we got people watching.
My chair swivels. And
mine does too, and every once in a while you'll see me doing that.
Swivel. So because and when I'm speaking, as you know, I do not stand still. I'm walking the whole time, and so this is my equivalent to walking when we're doing podcasts. So that bothers you.
I usually have a pen that I'm fumbling with on my thing. That's how I get it out of my system. So, and then every once in a while you'll see me reach over like this, and that's because I've got these mic stands on either side of this desk that I'm at. So I hang my arms on these mic stands. And we got cameras all over and lights all over and everything else. So I actually fidget a lot. You just don't see it because It's all below this level.
I'm hoping that by the time we do the Thursday show, my little studio will be complete.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing how that comes out. So exciting stuff because we're already up to almost 140 shows. I think this is 130.
Isn't that crazy?
We're almost
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty exciting.
Now, I had a question that came in and I said, wow, just so happens we will be yakking about that on Tuesday. I had a question that came in is like, Bill, why don't you guys ever go over your properties so we can see them? And I'm like, So Kevin and I were yakking before the broadcast started, and he's put together a property that literally is under contract right now. One of his properties up in the Rust Belt area. And so you got pictures of that available?
I do. And let's go ahead and set this up really quick because and we actually have showed properties that I've done before. We've showed rental properties that I've done for vacation rentals. We've done properties that I've bought up in the Rust Belt also, and some of the other areas that we invest in. This particular property, it's up in Northeast Ohio. It's in the Cleveland area. We are doing a buyer's event, by the way, in June. And I know it is October right now, but jump on it because it will fill up fast. We keep it limited to the amount of people. It's very few people because we put you on vans of just a handful of people so that you guys can see properties day for them. We'll go over that in a little bit on the show.
Yeah. And when it's full, it's full. It's not, we can make it bigger. We can't because of the way the event is structured, and it's structured for us to have a lot of time with you, and it's structured for us to be able to be out in real houses to make real offers. And we can't do that with a lot of people. So
it is
if it's of interest to you,
event. Yeah. So
it's a fun deal.
We'll explain all that here in a little bit, but let me get to this house, okay? And let me set that up. These are properties I'm looking at and looking for all the time. Okay, these meet the criteria that we talked about for Section 8 in these markets. And I come across these properties and I'm looking at these properties based upon the numbers that I'm looking for. And whether it meets my criteria is a buy and hold property for me to put renters into, typically Section 8, and be able to cash flow from the property. Now, this particular property that I found not only meets that criteria, it is also below 80% of market value. And it has some really cool, but also hideous painting on the inside, just some garish colors. And then somebody painted these, I should have probably grabbed some photos of that too. These murals of like elephants and, Hindu goddesses that weren't done very well, and just these horrible garish colors. So it needs a whole repaint on the inside. But other than that, it's ready to go. And I'm going to throw this up for you guys really quick so that you guys can see it. This is the property, and you can see that the purchase price is $65,000. You can see that it is pending. This is a duplex, okay? Left and right, it is 3 bedrooms, 1 bath on each side. There is a full-size attic. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that, if anything, to be honest, because three bedrooms is kind of our sweet spot for Section 8 anyway. So full-size attic, if I can figure out, both stairwells from the back go into the attic. So if I can figure out a way to set it off, to divide it to one or the other, maybe I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it alone. They can use it for storage, whatever. The awesome thing about this property, and I knew this because I saw the property, I knew the area that it was in. It appraised for, I have it right here, $104,200. So if you do the math from $65,000 to $104,200, I am well under 80 on this. Okay, real quick as well, the rents on this, when I did my math, $1,369 for both sides total. So my gross rents are going to be $1,369. That's conservative for both sides combined on a property that I'm getting for $65,000. Now, I could have got this no money down, zero down, but honestly, $65,000, I was able to just I put about $15,000 into it because I put a big down payment, not a big down payment. I put a big security payment for it so they could hold it for me and get it done and get somebody in there really quick. And I just threw more money at it because I just want to get it done quickly. I am trying to bulk up on my properties in this particular market because I am going to be in Cleveland most of the summer, which is going to lead us into what we're going to talk about in our next 2 segments. So I'm going to break with this really quick. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get into more information specifically about this property and the types of properties that we're finding in this market and the event that we're going to do, because I'm excited about the event because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be in Northeast Ohio, literally off and on, but mostly on for the entire summer. We'll be back in just a minute. And we're back. And today we're talking about one of our favorite subjects, which really is Section 8. Now, I haven't said that much in our first segment, but that property is ideally suited for Section 8. It is in the Cleveland area. It isn't Cleveland proper, but it is just outside of Cleveland. The real estate buyers event that Bill and I are going to do is going to be in Cleveland. And we are focusing on properties like that, not necessarily properties that you're going to be able to get for below 80% of market value, although I do find those quite often. And if you watch the show regularly, we've already gone over a couple of them that I myself have done, as well as a couple of students that have done as well. Now, great thing about Section 8, and you've heard Bill and I talk about this over and over and over again, is guaranteed rent. You get paid, or your property manager technically gets paid in their trust account on or before the first of the month, and then they transfer that to your bank account. I typically have all of my rents from Section 8 within 3 days of the first. So by the third, depending upon when the first actually falls, what day of the month. That is something that will continue as long as we have a government, that hands out money. And that's not being political. That's literally the way it is. As long as we have a government that hands out money, as long as we have this program that is not getting smaller, by the way, it is getting bigger. Okay. As long as we have this program, we have access to that money. Now, Bill we both did a show, but Bill had statistics not that long ago about the deficit of available homes for Section 8 in every single major market in America. So there is a deficit of Section 8 homes. Even the city that had the lowest deficit still had a deficit. There is not one single city, one single market in the United States that is all full up on Section 8 properties.
Now, and not just a deficit, Kevin, but a deficit of almost 40%. Yes.
And that is the very definition of entrepreneurship, is supply and demand. Okay. So if we are the real estate investor with these real estate properties that we can make available for Section 8, we are the supply. Okay. Our supply, ourselves and all the other real estate investors right now are not able to keep up with the demand, which is 40% or greater for Section 8 properties. That means, you might take a few dollars less per month, but you're going to have guaranteed rent and you're going to have people who want your property and who are going to jump into your property really, really quick. I cannot buy properties quick enough that I'd be able to even keep up with the waiting list that my property manager keeps in these cities. It would just be impossible. And I'm on the computer. I pick up 5 to 15 to sometimes 20 properties a month in this market because I can buy properties for that price that you just saw, 65, 70, 55, 50. Bill's got students buying properties, right now in the same markets for the same type of money. This isn't something that we're making up. This isn't something that we're.
Let's not miss the fact too. You mentioned it, but I think it deserves to be dwelled on, and that is that you came in at 104.2 on the appraisal.
Yes.
So 80% of that is going to be about 81,000 and change, something like that. Now it will be over 80,000 on a 65, or was it 60?
65,000.
So $65,000 property. So you're going to have some closing costs in there. You'll probably end up in that 68 range with closing costs and everything. You said it's got to be painted inside. You're going to do that, but you're still going to be able to walk away from closing this property if you wanted to. Now, I know you put money down on it, but you didn't have to.
No, I didn't have to.
Because of the appraisal. And so you could have gone in and bought this property and closed it and done the rehab on it if the full paint's the only thing you end up needing, and still walked away with cash in your pocket and you own the property. So when we talk about rates of return, when you've got zero money out of pocket, you can't calculate the rate of return because you have no basis to start with. But this is even crazier than that because you walk away, you could have walked away with net cash in your pocket, owning the property. And I did a whole chapter in Dumb Enough about getting paid to buy property. And this is a perfect example of that.
Right. And I was looking at this property because it met my criteria as far as the price point and as far as the rent goes. It just happened to be under market value. Now, Bill knows this, and I may have mentioned this to the rest of you guys, a month or so ago. My wife and I, we spend a lot of time in Ohio, and we spend our summers in Ohio. And one of our strategies for this year, because we were last couple of years because of COVID, we're just really slow for it. We just didn't do anything. And that was our fault. But we were going to spend more time in Northeast Ohio buying up properties. Now, this particular property met my criteria for what I was looking for as far as Section 8. However, if I wanted to broaden my scope, now, if this didn't meet my criteria, am I still going to be able to make money buying this property at $65,000, even if I put $10,000 into this property? And paint's not going to cost me $10,000, okay? But even if I put $10,000 into this property, am I still making money if I turn around and sell it? If I flip it, if I sell it for $100,000 instead of $104,000, am I still making money on this property? And what is that return if I just flip this property? There are other properties that don't meet my buy and hold criteria. Okay. There are single family homes that I could acquire in these markets that I can still get for 80% and less of fair market value. Now, the properties that I've shared with you and shared with Bill on past shows have all been multifamily, just because that's where I set my radar. I need to, and I'm going to, when I'm in Ohio for the summer, change the parameters for my radar. I'm going to be looking for properties that are going to be 80% of market value that I can purchase or less. And there are those properties there. Are they going to be every day, all the time? No. Is it common enough that I could find a couple of them a month? Absolutely. These are the types of opportunities that if you're not looking for, like myself, if you're not looking for, you're going to miss. Okay. So if you don't set your radar for that, you're going to miss. Now, like I said, it didn't fit my specific strategy for this market. I'm going to change my radar because I'm going to be there. I'm going to do these houses as flips as well. Which brings me to another point, and we'll go ahead and cover that on the next segment because we're already over. It's just been flying by. We'll see you guys in just a minute. And we are back. And Because I'm going to be in Cleveland, I am going to get Bill to spend some time in Cleveland as well. Bring your sons, hang out at the lake with us. I can't even tell you all the things that we do in Ohio for the summer. Great place to be. And I go there for fun. I go there because I grew up and I have family there. And I go there because it's a great market that I like to invest in. And it's a great city that I like to spend time in, Cleveland and Akron as well. I'm just to the south. I grew up in Akron. Because we're going to be there, we've got an additional program that we're going to add or make available to anybody that's interested in. But let's talk about the real estate buyers event first. The real estate buyers event for Cleveland, it is in June. It is right now and may be the only event that we have scheduled as far as a buyers event for 2022. And it is scheduled for June of 2022. And that's because I'm going to be super busy all of 2022. And Bill is going to be as well. Now, it is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can get the details at realestatebuyersevent.com. That's realestatebuyersevent.com. Now, I don't want you to look at this as a sales pitch. I want you to look at this as what we're going to be doing so that you can soak it in and understand that if you miss this one, this is what you need to be looking for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Thursday, before we start on Friday, Thursday evening, we're going to do a mixer. You're going to be able to meet your fellow classmates and just kind of decompress from your travel, eat some nice food, socialize, do some networking, turn in, relax. 8 o'clock in the morning. Can we go from 8 to 6 every day? 8 a.m. to 6. We take an hour for lunch. We take maybe a couple of 15-minute breaks, throughout the day. That's 8.5+ hours because we don't usually always wrap up at 6. Usually people have questions and we're usually there for a little while after that, even though we try to get out of there because whether you believe it or not, it runs us ragged, spending that amount of time up in front of you guys. So you're talking about 9 hours a day. Okay. Friday, we're going to jump into Cleveland. We're going to educate you on the city of Cleveland, the areas that you want to invest in Cleveland, the areas that you want to stay away from. I have a map. It literally has yellow, red, and green. Where it's red, you don't want to invest. Yellow, you can invest, but it's not the best, but it doesn't mean that you won't have a cash flow. Green are the best places to invest. And I'll cover on the map those specific areas also as to why they're better than some. Some are better just because they're a better neighborhood. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get better rent. There are yellow areas where you will get better rent than the green areas. And I will explain each one of those specific areas in that map that you're going to receive. And we're going to go over that and why that is specifically for the city of Cleveland on Friday. On Saturday, we're going to go over the criteria that we are looking for properties, the specific types of properties that we're looking for, and the numbers, the reason why we are looking at those properties, the numbers that back those up, okay? Second half of the day, Saturday, you and your fellow classmates are going to select properties from the MLS, and I'm going to have some real estate agents there. They may have some pocket listings as well. You're going to select properties that you want to look at on Monday, and you're going to do that second half of the day on Saturday so that we can get those properties to our agents so they can set up those showings for Monday. Sunday, we're going to go over the specifics of how to make those numbers work. So I'm going to give you the numbers ahead of why and how they work, because I want you guys to be able to pick properties with enough time for agents to set up the viewings. Okay. So Sunday, we're going to go over the specifics, how the Section 8 programs work, how the rent programs work, the various different ways that you can get your properties fixed and grants that are available, everything that applies to doing business in the city of Cleveland. We're going to cover that on Sunday. 8 o'clock, Monday morning, we are going to load up into multiple different vans. We're not going to have more than 10 people in each van because we're going to go look at properties. So we're going to load up into a few different vans, and you are going to personally walk properties that you selected if the agent was able to get into them. If not, the agent is going to have some properties that Bill and I have found from the MLS and from their own pocket listings that meet the criteria that we talked about. So you're going to be able to see properties that you and your classmates picked out, in addition to any other properties that we're able to throw in there as well. You're going to spend the entire day doing that on Monday. We're going to get you back to your hotel around 6:30ish. Get showered up, get cleaned up, and join us for a wrap party. And we're just going to have dinner and hang out and socialize and wrap everything up. Answer any questions you guys might have had from being out in the field. Bill and I will be out there in the field with you. Obviously, we can't do all 4 vans at the same time. So we'll do maybe 2 vans for the morning and 2 vans for the afternoon. But we will be with you while we're out there to answer those questions. Bonus. I have a consulting program and Bill is going to work on this with me. It is called the Real Estate Power Investor. It is an 8-week program. Okay. 8 weeks. We do 2 calls, 2 1-hour calls every week. That could be Tuesday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday. In some cases, we do Wednesday and Friday, but it's typically Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday. If you sign up for that Power Investor course, okay, or for the, Power Investor Consulting, okay, it is not going to be any more than what I normally charge. All right. But as a bonus, in addition to those 8 weeks, which we will start after we do the real estate buyers event. So it'll start in June. Okay. As a bonus, we are going to meet with you Wednesday before the event. We're going to spend the entire day Wednesday out cruising around, getting a feel for the landscape of Cleveland, personally being able to see things that we're not going to see when you're out in the vans looking at properties, things to hang out, sites to see, a little bit of history about Cleveland. We're going to do that on Wednesday. Wednesday evening before, Wednesday evening, we're going to drop you off at your hotel, get you cleaned up, get you dressed up. We're all going to meet at a place called Pickwick and Frolic for dinner and entertainment. It's right in downtown Cleveland. Thursday, we're going to pick you back up in the van, 8 o'clock, and we're going to spend the morning into the late afternoon doing the same thing that we did on Wednesday, just different areas of Cleveland. We're going to drop you off, let you get ready for the mixer on Thursday. Now, Tuesday, we're going to do an additional day in the vans for anybody that is signed up for the Real Estate Power Investor Consulting. We're going to spend another day to get a look at additional properties that you want to see. Obviously, there's a limit to how many properties we can see when we've got that many people. Okay. Everybody should be able to see at least a property, but there may be 2 or 3 or 4 properties that you want to see. We're going to have a smaller group on Tuesday. So we're going to go out and we're going to review those properties as well. Then moving forward, you have 8 weeks of consulting, either through myself or Bill or one of our past students who is also familiar with this program, even invested in the Cleveland market, to get you through any questions that you have, help guide you, help move you along. Something else that I forgot to mention, I have for Cleveland, when we're there, I have a list of over 60 lenders that focus on the city of Cleveland and Ohio. They're licensed in, most of them are licensed in all 50 states, but they're all licensed in Ohio. Many of them are going to be licensed in probably the state that you're from. So not just lenders that'll work in Cleveland, but real estate lenders that are going to work in the market where you are. We're going to go over the specific criteria that you're going to need to have in place so that you know every single time when you get this property, whether or not you're going to be able to finance it through one of these lenders. So you make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. I've also got a list of maybe 30 or 40 property managers in the Cleveland area. It is not a list of all the property managers. It is a list of the top 30 or 40 based upon their reviews, based upon customer recommendations, based upon investor recommendations, people that I work with, for you to choose from. I'm probably also going to have a couple of lenders come in and speak with you directly about the Cleveland market. We'll probably also have a property manager to come in and speak with you directly about that so that you can ask them questions. So it's going to be a very, very, very power-packed 4 days. Now, if you combine the real estate buyers event with the Power Investor Consulting, I'm going to give you, or Bill and I are going to give you 10% off. So right now, that's a $600 savings that you're going to get by combining the both of them. 10% off. Now, this price will go up as we get more people to register, but right now, that's a $600 savings. So if the price goes up, you're saving more money, but you're also paying more money. So go to realestatebuyersevent.com for the details. realestatebuyersevent.com. All the information is there for our Cleveland Buyers event in June. Bill, was there anything you wanted to add?
That I just, if you're serious about Section 8 and getting into the buy and hold passive guaranteed income market, do yourself a favor, be there, because it's going to be a small event, going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be informative like you ain't never seen.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it is just a lot of information packed into those. Not even just 3 days; it is packed into 4 days, because you learn a lot even being out there in that van looking at properties. A lot of the things that Bill and I are going to talk about in those 3 days, you're going to see for yourself firsthand while you're walking those properties. It's going to kind of bring that whole picture together for you.
And website one more time.
realestatebuyersevent.com. That's realestatebuyersevent.com, and it will have the information there for the Investors Power Consulting.
Excellent. Great show. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem. Love doing what we do. I'll talk to you later on. You have a great week. The rest of you happy investing, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Everybody.